Hello, and welcome to Taking the Reins. I'm your host, Diana Nord. Rachel Cornelius is a fourth-year biomedical engineering major who is looking forward to graduating soon. Rachel has a ton of passion for the sport and has 15 years of riding experience. There's no doubt that after she graduates, she will be greatly missed by the Georgia Tech Equestrian team. Let's take a closer look at Rachel's amazing story.
Tell us about your parents.
My parents are both engineers. They, so I guess that's sort of why I came to Tech studying engineering. My dad works for Siemens. He was mechanical. My mom doesn't work anymore, but she studied electrical engineering.
Do you have a significant other?
I do. His name is YJ. He lives in California. I worked out there. We met because he works for the company that I co-opt with. And he actually studied mechanical engineering here at Tech, but I never met him until we were both out in LA together. Mm-hmm. So it's been almost a year now. We see each other every 3 or 4 weeks. And he's finishing up his master's at Georgia Tech, distance learning.
Why did you choose Georgia Tech?
When I was a senior in high school, my options were either go to school for riding or for engineering, because I had liked math and science all through high school. I knew I wanted to do something in the medical field, but I didn't necessarily want to be a doctor. I just didn't think my personality suited that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So, I saw programs on biomedical engineering, thought it was a great mix, a great field to go into if I wanted to be in the medicine field, but not necessarily be a physician. And then I thought about going to school for riding as well, but when I wasn't offered essentially a scholarship on any of the NCAA teams, I was offered a spot to walk on to Auburn's NCAA team, so that's it's varsity level as opposed to the club level that we have here. And the coach essentially talked to me and said I could walk on, but it wasn't necessarily guaranteed. And I thought that essentially that Georgia Tech was better for my career path because I knew that I wanted to keep horseback riding more as a hobby as opposed to a career. It's very hard to make money in it. It's a very stressful life. So I decided Georgia Tech was the best place for engineering and for me to establish that career path. So.
And what's your major?
Biomedical engineering.
Tell us about how you like biomedical engineering.
I really enjoy biomedical engineering. It's a great mix. It's very cross-functional. It's not like the other engineering majors where you learn specific, like electrical or mechanical or aerospace where it's very, very specific. Biomedical, you learn some mechanical, some electrical, and then you also learn some chemical engineering. You learn physiology and because it's such a cross-functional major, they emphasize things like teamwork and communication and problem-based learning. So essentially when you graduate with a degree in biomedical engineering, a lot of people say you really graduate mainly with a degree in problem solving because that's our curriculum is oriented on that. Every class has some sort of team-based project at the end of the semester, or even throughout the whole semester. There's always some sort of project. I'm always juggling 3 or 4 groups at a time, which makes things difficult. But I really enjoy the major, and I think it's really helped me improve my communication, my presentation skills, and I think that's something that really needs to be emphasized in all engineering majors. So I do enjoy the major a lot.
Do you have a favorite professor?
I do. Dr. Thomas Barker is probably my favorite professor. He taught cell physiology last semester and so I had it with him, and he's just a really reasonable guy, really, he's a really nice person, very personable. His door was always open. We had a lot of group projects again in that class, and they were really, really interesting. I also really liked the topic of cell physiology, so that probably helped. But I would always go to his office and just ask him about anything, about the tests, about his own research, about our projects, and he would just talk, and you get so much information from him. And I've written him a letter of recommendation for a award that he was nominated for. He's written me a recommendation for I'm applying to be a Calc TA next semester. So, and I don't have class with him anymore, but I can still go by his office. And recently he told me he was upset that I didn't work in his lab. I feel bad because I accepted a position at a different research lab, but, I still get to see him. And I just think he's a really great professor, very personal, very reasonable.
So you graduate in December.
I graduate in December. Mm-hmm.
What are you going to miss most about Georgia Tech?
I will probably miss my friends here. I got my friends my freshman year just living on the hall, a few of them in my sorority, and we've lived together throughout all of college pretty much. We go out together, we just watch movies together, all of that. I can ask them about anything, and I know that when I graduate, I will not, I probably won't be in Atlanta anymore, and they probably won't either. We'll probably be all over the place. So I think that's something that I'll miss a lot, is just being close with them, being able, living with them, being able to just talk to them whenever I want. So.
What is your favorite part of Georgia Tech?
My favorite part of Georgia Tech, I really think the school is pretty unified. I like the sense of camaraderie around here, I guess. I feel like, one time when I was a Connect with Tech host, a parent asked me, do you think Georgia Tech students are really competitive or more close-knit, in their relations towards each other? And I said, I think they're definitely more supportive of each other. It's competitive, yes, because you're graded on a curve in a lot of classes, but I think being a Georgia Tech student, you just, you know that you have the support of your classmates, and everybody is here through this struggle together, and it sort of unites us, and I think it just is a good sense of feeling around campus. Just everybody's working really hard. Everybody understands that classes are really hard, that everybody understands the amount of work that it takes to accomplish good grades, receive these accomplishments at Georgia Tech. So I think that creates a real sense of unity that I like with the students here.
Do you live in Georgia Tech housing?
I do. I live in North Avenue, North Apartments.
Tell us about your community in North Ave.
I really enjoy living in North Ave. My RA is my best friend. We met our freshman year. She became RA the spring of her sophomore year, and I think having her as my RA has been really great because as an RA, she's gotten to know all the people on the hall, so it's made me get to know all the people on the hall through her, which I like. At first I didn't think living in North Ave would be like living in freshman experience dorms where you know everyone, but now I've gotten to know more people on my hall. And then also this year I'm living with the Alpha Gamma block in North Ave, so it's nice. You hear people outside and I know who they are because I can recognize their voice. So I feel safe, you know, knowing people around me, knowing my neighbors and things like that. And, you know, I think the apartments are great. Living, it is a great community they have. Just being around other Georgia Tech students, you know, I think I prefer living on campus than off campus. So.
Tell us what it's like being a woman at Georgia Tech.
Well, being a woman in BME at Georgia Tech is not so rare because we have almost 50% women, I think, in biomedical engineering. So, but just in general, though, it is different. I remember coming to school and as a freshman and it being a real eye-opener, being the only woman in a lot of my classes, not the only, but being one of few, being in groups where I was the only girl. I had to get used to that. And I think it's good experience for women to go through this because in reality, that's what it's like in the workspace as well, and in the industry of engineering, just because majority in the U.S. is male engineers. So anywhere you go as an engineer, you're going to see a lot more men, and you have to be able to conduct yourself appropriately, and you have to be able to learn to work with them just as they were your peers, you know. So it definitely, you have to learn. So it's fun. But I mean, I think it's a good experience getting to be the only girl in a group. And, you know, you really see the dynamics because usually the guys want a girl in the group because they're the person that will make sure everybody's organized and get the reports in on time. And so, you see that a lot. They'll pick you as the group leader, but a lot of times, you know, they think you're going to be the organized one. So that's interesting. And yeah. And it's not hard to find a date to things, which is always nice too. Yeah. So the 30 fraternities and 7 sororities is a nice ratio too. Always something going on campus. So.
Tell us about the horses that you have owned.
My first horse, his name was Dollar, and he was essentially, well, he wasn't a dollar, but in the spectrum of prices, he was very, very cheap when we bought him. I was 12, almost 13 when I got him, and he was old. He was 17, old thoroughbred, and he was like the grumpy old man in the barn. And he was great, though. He actually just passed away last year.
Have any of your family members ever done any riding with you?
My mom got really involved in horses when I started getting really involved, just because she was a stay-at-home mom, and she was essentially a professional volunteer, is what she considers herself. So she got really involved in horses. She became president of our zone for the high school organization competition, and that was all run by volunteers. It was usually parents or coaches. So she, a lot of people knew me as Mary Beth's daughter, so she got really involved. She's always been really supportive of it, and she loves it. She would read books about how to ride, and just so she could know the jargon and terminology, so I could come home and tell her about my riding, and she would know what I was saying. So she was really great in that way. And one day she asked me, she's like, will you put me on your horse? Will you let me ride Blue? And I was like, of course, because she reads all this. I talked to her about it. She's like, I think I could do this. But my horse has such a bouncy trot. You know, all of them have different gaits. They feel different. And his trot is like the bounciest thing ever. It's the worst. So uncomfortable. But so she got out and she started trotting. She's like, I can't do this. So she walked him around, and you know, he's a really, really great, nice, easy, friendly horse. So she had a blast, and she'll come on trail rides with me. She came to visit me in California when I worked out there last summer, and we went on a trail ride through the hills. You know, anytime we go somewhere, she's always on my side about going to go ride horses when we go on vacation. So.
Rachel Cornelius made the ultimate sacrifice a horsewoman can make by donating her horse Blue to the Atlanta Police Department. Her act of kindness will be remembered for years to come. We thank Rachel for taking the time to speak with us. Until next time, I'm Diana Nord. Thanks for watching Taking the Reins.